Hey guys, welcome to Nifty World. I'm Bex, and yes, myself and Warren are back in today's video to tell you how you might be able to find those really key NFTs to help you 10x your investment for October. Ones to watch out for, lots to come, so make sure you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and of course hit that all important notification bells. These videos are dropping each and every Monday, and we're going to be running it with a Twitter space as well. So make sure if you have any questions about any of the NFTs that we're showing you today, that you could ask them in a safe space on Twitter, and here are all the times. So don't forget that this is not financial advice. This is purely our predictions, the way we might strategize our own purchases, and we want to share this information with you guys. Definitely do your own research, definitely see what works for you as an NFT collector, and most importantly, have fun with it as well. But for now, let's dive right in. Okay, so start of a new month. The month of October, to timestamp this video. Warren, you're with me again, as you are week on week. Excited for our Twitter space, aren't we?
Can't wait for it. It's going to be good. It's going to be great to start talking and engaging with more people and get more people on the stage to talk about their interests as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So even if it's not on our list from this week, if you have a potential investment that you are questioning, thinking about, bring it to the stage. The Twitter details for the Twitter space are here, so you guys can check that out. And please do join us. We'll be running this each and every Monday. It's our first one. If you're watching this video on the day of the drop, it's our first ever one. So you might be able to have a good amount of time to come and speak to us, because there might not be that many in this as we just start these spaces, but it will grow. So make sure you join us for that. So let's kick off with our first investment. So we're going to go from our highest price point investment down to the cheapest investment. So stick with us. And we're also bringing you one which we have had as a recommendation from one of our Twitter followers who wants us to look into it. We have done this for you. So Chris Plitt, if you are listening and watching, we've got your back, don't worry. So always is really worth tweeting us to ask us what we think about certain investments. We are there to help. We also have a little bit of a wild card for you, an early bird NFT, which we think might have the opportunity to really grow throughout the month of October. So if you are looking to 10x your investment, do not worry, we have got something for you. Bear in mind, this is not financial advice. This is just us giving our opinions. We've done our research. We want you to go away to do your research, and please don't spend more than you're willing to lose. Okay, so seeing that it's October, seeing that it's Halloween month, let's start off with Skeleton Crew. Feels quite fitting, doesn't it?
Yeah, love that. Love Halloween. And it's a fantastic fitting project to start talking about. So Skeleton Crew. So budget for this, guys, when you're coming into the marketplace, is going to be around $270. So it's approximately 2 Solana. Mm-hmm. We've had a look at Skeleton Crew, and for me, I'm really excited because, I mean, does it surprise you that there's 6,666 being made?
Of course. I'm surprised they've not limited it to 666, but you know what? You've got to make that dollar where you can, right?
Absolutely right. Like I think they'll do really well. Although it is focused specifically on Halloween, so we're kind of address that more in a mo. I mean, we're entering the autumn months, right? And actually, people love seasonal type approaches. That's why these shops fill up when people are going and buying like their seasonal accessories anyway. So I think the Skeleton Crew are smart, you know, that they've looked at the market. They've created really interesting and really cool looking different skulls that are generated. They understand that it's going to be very content heavy. So as soon as you're entering that marketplace, Bex, you're going to be met with airdrops. They're also doing exclusive keys that you get access to. So you get access to them as soon as you're buying your skull. And the idea about Skeleton Crew really, and throughout Halloween, is that they really want to create a very dedicated and focused engagement project. I mean, listen, when it comes to airdrops and it comes to really cool artwork, we're all for it. And I'm excited to see, again, it is focused on Halloween.
Yeah. And I think, you know, if you are concerned about having something that feels like it's hitting a seasonality or a moment, you never know. If you're going to hold on to this, you know, and we're always looking for those longer term investments, this time next year, so Halloween next year, this may well go through the roof. I mean, if you're looking for a long-term hold. But what I think the utilities, the airdrops, the keys, you know, the access that they're giving, I think that's really cool. And actually, it reminds me a little bit of, you know, like the Boho Bones, who I've interviewed and I've done before. You know, they've got really cool skeleton artwork, another one that's worth looking at as well. And the utilities around that are really strong. But, you know, if you are jumping onto the Solana blockchain and you are dabbling in that, I think too, Solana is actually quite a fair price for a mint at the moment. And because it's still quite a new blockchain in which lots of people are still dabbling in slightly, there's that kind of like historic value to certain Solana based NFTs. I do believe that this could be something that, you know, that could benefit you in the long run. So it's not a quick flip. It's not something like that, unless suddenly you see throughout the month of October, there's a real surge. And we haven't seen this before because obviously NFTs are so new, but who knows what's going to happen in the build up to Halloween. You know, suddenly it might go bonkers. So you may be able to really double down on your investment and make a smart play. For us, this is kind of a good step into the Solana blockchain, a solid entry price, and something that has enough utilities, good artwork, a strong community behind it that may well take it to where it needs to be.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And actually, when we look at our counterparts, you know, across North America, for instance, you know, who celebrates Halloween more than those guys, right? So it's definitely, I think there'll be cultures and communities that really engage with this, potentially Cinco de Mayo and, you know, South America. So there's good angles to this. It's not just kind of a one-piece focus, but yeah, you know, we recognise that take heed of our advice, but do your own research.
Absolutely, absolutely. So next up, I think you have a real passion for this kind of artwork. Like we saw the sevens drop a while back, you know, to much controversy, but everyone's looking for that next big, not hype drop necessarily, but I think there's been a lot of learning since the seven, but that's similar kind of artwork. And today you're bringing us Shogun Samauri. So this is sitting at 0.08 ETH, which is about $230 in fiat, if you're thinking about the conversions for you. And just to highlight that previously with the Skeleton Crew, that was about 271 fiat as well. If you're thinking of converting this, how much is it actually going to cost you in real life? So 0.08 Shogun Samauri, nice sevens vibe to this, already good on the Discord as well. So lots of buzz around this one. What can we expect?
Yeah, so over 19,000, I think, across Discord. So they've done such a fantastic job of marketing and talking about this incredible community artwork. Pre-sale date coming 16th of October. Public sale again 17th of October. Bex, you put a nod to it a minute ago. The entry is going to be around that $230 mark, give it a take for fiat, although we appreciate Ether can fluctuate. What we can accept from these guys, I mean, it's definitely got a sevens vibe, right? And that artwork for sevens, it's unarguable. It was so successful, and it was such an interesting, engaging way of launching that they smashed it. They did really well, and I do believe that Shogun Samauri have got that availability to be able to go and talk to the similar market. So the way they principally created their artwork is they focused and they based it on principles of the Bushido, which is the way of the warrior. And there's 8 different kind of morals, behaviors that these samurais that are created really abide by. And they embody them within the artwork and the designs. Again, for us, the artwork's great. You know, it's really stunning. It stands out. Community solid, and they're really excited for the launch. I do think it's going to be one of those that it's simply the first mover advantage, right? So you need to be able to jump on that, do your own research, but this is certainly something which we're keen on.
Do you think we should be concerned about gas wars on the drop? Is this one of do your research, get in on that pre-sale as quickly as you can?
Yeah, I think the challenge with some of the particular projects, certainly when there's a swell of Discord, is that it's often incentivized around invites and driving adoption. And so it's not just about really being able to beat the gas wars, it's being able to make yourself stand out on the Discord and really be part of that very active vocal community to give yourself the best chance of getting on that whitelist, being part of that pre-sale and really copying something which we feel like it could be a real mover and a shaker.
Yeah, and you've got a couple of weeks from when this video drops for you to really embed yourself in that community and to get that feel as to whether or not this NFT is right for you. But that sits pretty at around the midway mark for us, $230 plus gas. So bear that in mind, because unlike the Solana one that we brought you there previously, this has got something that I think, you need to kind of bear that in mind. Now, just to give you a bit of a caveat of what happened with the sevens, for anyone that doesn't know, with all best intentions. So they did a blind drop. So you didn't know which rarity you were getting. There was a reveal maybe 48 hours later. However, the gas wars, because Warren and myself were on that drop at that time, we couldn't even connect our MetaMasks, right? It was that heavy because the hype was so big for this. And what ended up happening was that someone dropped in a bot that swept up way more than 1,000 of the sevens. And that caused a lot of disruption in the community, a lot of kind of ill sentiments as well. And that ultimately affected it. So, ask those questions on the Discord, ask what they're doing for the drop. Is it a blind drop? Are they doing a hype drop? How is that going to work? And does that fit with your trading strategy? If it doesn't, step away. We've got other options for you as well.
Bex is right. I would say as well, the DYOR research, we keep talking about that because it's important to be confident in what you're investing in. What we saw, and we did our research on the sevens, we knew it would be popular. Seldom did we think it would be as popular as it was. But you can't account for when public markets are going to happen. Bots are going to be mad. They're going to be sweeping the floor. They're going to be making it difficult for people to be able to really kind of get into this community. And obviously, for us, we understand we're consumers. So we don't just talk about this stuff. We are active parts of the community. We understand the things which are required to stand out, to be part of it, to get on those whitelists. So please check it out. We do think Shogun Samauri is going to be popular. You heard it here first. We did call out some other previous fantastic drops, and they've been great vis-a-vis Boss Beauties. So I wouldn't say there's not a lot of projects there. There's lots of projects available to look at. Listen to what we're saying, and do your research to invest in the right things for you.
Absolutely. And look, just to give you guys a little bit of context, Warren and I speak about options and projects daily, and that doesn't necessarily mean we both go all in on these. Sometimes one is right for Warren and sometimes one is right for me, and we go our separate ways, and that's because we're doing our own research at the same time. So there we go. Now, speaking of doing your own research, we put out on Twitter and said, if you guys have got any suggestions that you want us to look into for this video, let us know. And Chris Plitt, thank you, at Chris Plitt, very kindly came back to us with a couple of suggestions. And one of them stood out to us, and that is the roaring leaders. And so for Chris and for everyone else that might be looking into that, we thought we'd throw this one in. So Warren, take it away.
Yeah, so roaring leaders is a really, really interesting project. Chris, thanks so much for giving us the heads up. 10,000 in circulation. Hey, disclaimer is the drop's already happened.
Okay.
What we're doing here is specifically we want to talk about things that the community are passionate in, because we want to be able to understand and see those directions of particular projects. Now, for roaring leaders, they've looked at a very similar model whereby it's generative art with different varieties and different rarities and traits, which isn't too unique and unusual. But what is really standing out for us is their ideas and their approach on how they can benefit the ongoing community, right? How that utility within the NFT or purchasing is really going to be rewarded back to the consumers. So what we've been able to really understand and get under the hood of is that 3% of the secondary sales within the Leaders Fund, which is what they're going to be naming it, Bex, nice. Will be fractionalized ownership. And what this fractionalized ownership will do, it will distribute additional value amongst the community. I don't know about you, but I really like the idea of additional ownership in pieces which are very much blue chip central, although blue chip is still to be determined in our world. Yeah. But the types of pieces that they're looking specifically to invest in on behalf of us, the community, are pieces like Cool Cats, right? Our mutants, are the advances on also the squidgies as well, like the art blocks pieces. So they're not just saying, hey, listen, we're going to make this piece, this project, this is going to be our key focus. For Roaring Leaders, it's a lot bigger than that. For Roaring Leaders, it's taking some of that revenue that's getting poured in, which obviously is a healthy amount, and then going out to market, looking at those larger animals, and forgive the pun, but those larger opportunities that can be invested in. And they're really bringing that back to base camp and sharing that wealth and that support amongst the community. We love that idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The junkyard dogs do that. They have their own vault, which means, you know, everyone within the community, because you're in there and you're part of it, benefits from that. And if you can't afford to buy a big blue chip, you know, NFT, the fractionalized approach works really well. Warren and myself are even taking a fractionalized approach on future bigger purchases, which is slightly out of our budget range, because we think, you know, it's better to be in it as in half or a quarter way that we can, because it just means you've still got some skin in the game. So I think that's a really good utility from them. So the mint price for this was 0.065, which was approximately about $189 at time of mint. Now the mint has obviously passed, but you are in early on the secondary market. So that is still looking at about the 0.1 mark. And we all know when people sit on the 0.1 mark and they kind of go, oh, it's a little bit more than what I should have paid or whatever. And then suddenly it starts rising and you go, damn it, I wish I got it before. You know, don't miss out, guys. Do your research, have a look, see if this is the right one for you. It's sold out at mint, which is a great, you know, indicator of the community that's behind this. And I think the approach is very clever for the future. So thank you, Chris, for asking us to look into this. We very much enjoyed doing that for you. And it's bringing you guys the initial entry level that is slowly but surely rising in terms of your price point, but it is still affordable if you are new to the NFT space, and hopefully a solid investment for you as well. Now, we do have a little bit of a wild card for you, and because it's October and because this drop isn't actually happening until the very end of October, you have a whole month to look into this next NFT and see and track and, you know, feel how it will work and how it will grow for you. And remember, in the NFT space, a day is like a week is like a month. Things move so quickly. So don't be put off that we're at the really early stage, but this is just something that we have very much got our eye on, and something that we want to give to you guys as a little bit of an early bird bonus for you for sticking with us on this video. So what it's called, and I really love this. When Warren showed it to me, he said, I knew you'd love this one. It's called the Regulars. It is currently sitting at a mint price of 0.05. So when the mint does happen, you're only going to be spending about $145 plus gas. The pre-sale is on the 30th of October. The actual sale is on Halloween, which is the 31st of October. And Warren, I mean, talk us through why these are potentially really, really special.
So like Bex has just said, right, like it's going to be at the end of October. There's a lot of runway, and what's really great as well is their Discord and the way they're approaching things. It's really just starting to pick up now. Great time to be getting in and being part of this community. What I really love is that the renders, like, they're gorgeous. The artwork is really, really interesting. They're 3D individual created renders that are done. There's 10,000 of them that will be coming to mint to market. In addition to the way they've created the renders, they also, Bex, they represent quite a diverse community with a nod to the LGBTQ communities as well, which is a little bit unique because we're not seeing enough of that. So it's great to see projects really embracing diversity and driving it forward. They have thought as well about, you know, what the utilities are, and they're still fleshing out some of the utilities. And again, like a fledgling project, it's going to take some time, but I believe they've got some really clever ideas. It's not a surprise they're thinking about yearbooks, airdrop with active users, and also they want to create physical prints that are hanging like that picture is behind you, Bex, on your wall. Yeah. And again, it's a competitive entry to market. You know, for us, if I was coming to the market first, $145, and actually was thinking to myself, what are those right things just to start with and small, I'd certainly be looking in this kind of direction by doing my research. And again, we're not financial advisors, but it's the kind of thing that we'd be passionate about. I love the diversity, I love the angle, and I really think they're going to be a slow burn, but they're going to see that success in the future for sure. Do
you know what I think about this is that there's a lot of people who enjoy the anonymity of being in the NFT space. You cover your avatar, or you replace your profile picture with an avatar NFT. Now, what if with the regulars you found an avatar or an NFT there which really did resemble you, and you could use that as your NFT self, which means, you know, we have no idea what a Bored Ape would look like in real life. It could be, you know, an 18-year-old kid for all we know having a granddaddy Bored Ape, whereas this one you might actually be able to find that kind of, you know, real life for like 3D rendered version that is really similar to you. And I think I'm going to go on the hunt for something like that. I mean, we don't know yet if it's going to be a blind drop or what, but I think the artwork in itself, the play on the fact that it's like playing on normal people, is going to be really interesting. So, you know, there's something in there about like animated movies and stuff, right, that are out now. There's a real similarity with Pixar and, you know, how they're portraying certain characters on screen. You're getting that kind of look and feel with the regulars as well. I love the name, the regulars. The one caveat I would have on this is to be careful of the roadmap where it is now. I think it's really early. For me, there's not a lot of utilities and benefits from being on that, but what we expect is that they will update and change that and throw more stuff in as the weeks go by in the lead up to launch, because they'll need to do that to really solidify the community as it grows. But if you get in and you support something like this early, you know, you don't have to go in on the drop, you don't have to do any of that, but it will be good for you to have that information and start feeling part of a community at a stage when the Discord in particular is so young. So for us, that's why it's exciting us. It's led with the artwork, it's got a good sentiment, it made us chuckle, and then we wanted to get involved and see what the community is offering. So you've got a month, guys, look into that. And I think it might be an interesting one to get in and see what it does from this early stage.
Bex, it's well worth mentioning, and looking through it, those kind of next early phases that they're already in the discussion across the roadmap in the Discord are things like these regulars then acquiring themselves regular jobs, right? You know, regular homes, regular incomes, really following the timeline of what we do in our day-to-day lives. And I think it's quite a sweet sentiment to that as well. And some of those images are irregular, right? They are avatar, they are cartoonistic, and they do, I think, offer that escapism. And it's a fantastic point you make about, you know, what does someone look like in real life in comparison to someone being avatared? Yeah, I'm so excited to see how this does. But again, you heard it here first. We always encourage everybody that watches our content, do your research, get in contact, let us know if there's something we need to be talking about, and we'll do our best.
Well, there we have it, some exciting NFTs, some that may well 10x over time. So it's great to get in there early. Don't forget that this isn't financial advice. This is just something that we want to share in terms of our own strategies and what we're looking at, and hopefully that will help you guys too. But don't forget, only spend what you are willing to lose, and please do your own research. If you have any other questions around any of these NFTs or any NFTs that you guys have found yourselves, please join us every Monday on our Twitter Spaces. All of the timings are right here, and of course we'd love to see you, meet you, speak to you, and to help you in any way that we can. So don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends if you think it's going to be useful. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because there's more amazing videos to come your way very, very soon. But for now, thank you so much for watching.